Welcome back to the Pals Podcast. I'm your co-host, Ricky Laroi.
And I'm Danielle Galarno.
And Denny, why don't you start first with, I guess, give us one highlight from your trip to New York, Boston, and the Hamptons.
Hamptons is the best place in this world. Different than Europe, different than anything else, but I understand the hype. It's a perfect mix of like relaxing, but then you still get to enjoy high-end meals. And there's also like a nightlife, and there's also, it's just, it encompasses everything you need. But I also understand why people go and like from New York City, because like I got to New York after, and it's like everyone's go non-stop, and like there's just people everywhere. Whereas like it's just empty, and you're just walking around, and it's just like calm.
That's fair.
And it was a great escape, and I just feel like I needed that. Now I'm ready. Summer's not over yet.
I know. I feel like we still got a good month of summer
We
left.
still have some time.
6 weeks maybe.
I like need something to look forward to again. Like I just want something next. But I still I really want to enjoy the next couple of weeks in the city, seeing friends. I feel like I haven't seen some people in a long time. So like I think I saw like so many people on my birthday, which was great. But like I just want more one-on-one time with people to like just see them again, catch up.
Okay, that's good.
It. How are you, Rick?
I'm great. I had a very eventful weekend. I got kind of two highlights. One, I'll talk about them quickly. The first is Mila and Frankie's wedding. That's DB's sister. Beautiful wedding. A beautiful start to finish. Amazing. They incorporated the Indian side, the Italian side. They did a lot of little things that I hadn't seen at a wedding before, like water painting portraits things.
Oh, yeah, that's
That was
nice.
really cool. At the beginning during cocktail hour, they had samosas, which brings out her Indian side, which was really cool. So great wedding. Again, it's so nice to see friends and family and people you care about and people you haven't seen in a long time. So connected with some old friends, and it was a really good time. Another thing I wanted to talk about quickly was the Sam Smith concert.
I have a lot of thoughts about that.
Yeah, and without getting into too much detail, I kind of highlighted it on my TikTok. But the first act, so the first third of the concert was so moving. Like it's an emotional part of the concert. So many good songs, and his voice is. I used to think his voice was top 5 I'd ever seen live. I think it's top 3, to be honest now.
And like but I even said this to you before. Like his older music is so great, and I loved it. But it is very different than his new music.
Yeah, and he's been around. I didn't realize he's been around for like 10 years. So a lot of his newer stuff is a little bit different. It's more sexualized, whereas before it was more about like heartbreak and emotions. So the first third was just moving. And the second third was good because it was a little bit more upbeat. He played Latch. He played Promises. So some of these songs that you just
forget that like
Latch was his. Like Latch was like 2012,
that was
2011,
a great song.
2010, right? Promises with Calvin Harris. He was great. The last third, I'm not going to lie, gets a little too sexualized for me, I think. It was really cool to see. I think he's great. He's an amazing performer. Just not my cup of tea, I think.
Okay, rank it in your concerts.
That was the third best concert of the year for me.
What was your first? Okay, Taylor Swift. Yes.
Second, Post Malone. And third, Sam Smith.
Amazing.
Yeah, so really cool. Really glad I got to see him. I went alone, like I told you, so that was cool. I gave the spare ticket to a random person outside. So that was a good feel-good moment for me, too. And yeah, the person that I gave the ticket didn't end up sitting beside me, which was funny. So there was like 3 girls looking to buy tickets, right? So I was like, girls, I have an extra ticket. You buy 2 and I'll give you my third. And then you guys just figure it out. They figured it out. So
that's nice.
But yeah, this week we had Alex, goes by Distant Matter. He's a DJ producer and just recent friend of the podcast and myself.
You'll hear it on the episode, but I feel like it's full circle from how you guys met and how you guys became friends in such a short period of time. And
yeah, it's just one of those guys.
Now he's on the podcast.
Yeah, it's one of those guys that we met literally a week or 2 ago, and we just kind of hit it off, became good friends. We have a lot of similarities in the way we think about things and our schooling and just some other things too. So we had a good time. Alex, thanks for coming on. Thanks for being one of the pals. And yeah, honestly, I'm not going to get more into it because we get into it. That's a good episode of who we are, what we're about, and we talked a lot about music and touring, but we also talked about different ideas and just had a kind of a good time on that.
So with that, let's fucking go.
You're not alright. I'm not alright. I like to Drink and smoke, take away the pain, and you don't remember all the
Yeah.
Love that.
Okay, so speaking, I was telling Danielle offline how we randomly met at Veld, and it was just like we just had like a nice little bromance.
Yeah, it was a sick night.
Keep it close to your mouth.
Sick night.
Yeah, we did. So Danny, I don't know if I told you the full night. We did Veld, and then after that we went to Citrullo's to like just quickly have a couple drinks. Then we went to Myth.
Everyone just speak for a second. Hello.
Check.
Okay, yeah, we're good. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, we're good. We're fine.
Yeah.
We just have. Just talk loud. Actually, do you go by Distant Matter or Alex when people talk to you?
I go by Alex.
Yeah.
A lot of people call me Disty though.
Disty?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's
That's
kind
a
of a cool
good nickname. Yeah,
Kinda
Disty.
rips.
Wait, how'd you come up with Distant Matter though?
My brother actually came up with the name like before it was even for music, and essentially he was running like this like Instagram page called Distant Matter, and then I took it over in first year university, and then when I decided I wanted to do music, I was like, I need a name, and I had already been like running this page, and I'm like, why don't I just like turn this into
A music page.
yeah, and just like make it my name, and then we like attached a meaning to it after the fact. Basically it was like sound, like everything around us is like matter that we can like touch and feel, and like it's in our like close peripherals, whereas like sound is like not like
You can't-
actual matter, it's
yeah.
like the distant matter. So that's like the I guess like
That
the
look is
meaning
like
behind it.
deep.
Yeah, it actually
Yeah,
does
it's
make
Like when
sense.
you like,
It
it's
is
really
pretty
deep when
deep.
you like think about it. Like
I know. You'd think like my music is like just super like freaking like spiritual and just like yeah. I mean it kind of is, but definitely
But I feel like that's what music does. I
Yeah.
feel like it's a mix of everything.
for sure.
Well, you want to feel something when you're listening to music,
Yeah.
so it is a bit deeper. But then you can also think like it could be so superficial for other people.
I think the goal of music is to make you feel something, whether it's whatever the intention of the song is, but as long as you feel something.
yeah.
And that's how you know you're listening to good music. Like, I went to the Sam Smith concert on Friday night, and the first like 5 songs, I think I almost cried. I was like so emotional. So I'm just like, man, this guy's his voice is amazing, but 2, when you hear him like sing, I'm just like, holy crap! Like I literally want to cry right now, and that's what you want. Like,
yeah. I agree. I mean, like, as long it like that's like the hardest thing as an artist is like when you're making music, you're like, is this good? Is this like, are people gonna like this? But then I guess like my litmus test for like if I want to release something is like when I'm making it, if I feel something, then I know that like someone else is gonna feel something, and if they don't, it doesn't really matter because I'm not making it for them. I'm putting it out there as like a way to just like express myself and in hopes that other people like it, but you know, you can't control that. So
Well, have you ever had a song that you absolutely loved and like nobody else liked?
yeah, and I've also had songs that I absolutely hate that everyone loves.
That's fair. Wasn't it Eric Pride's Hates Call on Me? I don't know if this is a real story or if someone told me, and I've told so many people this exact story that it's become real in my mind. But someone once told me that Eric Pride's like hates Call on Me. And it's
So
just
many,
like, and
yeah.
it's a fucking banger. Or like, what's the song Chainsmokers, Selfie? They hate Selfie.
I mean, debatable, yeah.
And it's like, that's the song that made them like mega famous.
Yeah.
There's a lot of songs out there I find that are not. I wouldn't say it's the artist's best song, but I do think it might be the best in terms of, like, it hits on the charts really well. Like, there's been some of Drake's songs that I listen to. I'm like, yeah, this is not a good song. Like, some of it are way better, but they do
Like
well for the
Kiki.
overall. Yes, for like the overall. Or like, what was that other one? Oh my God, I'm missing it. It's gonna come to me soon. Oh, Started from the Bottom. Like, that is not one of his best songs.
Well, it's also now with the internet, right? Like in the internet day and age, I guess you can say it now. Like if a song goes viral, boom, it's back on the charts. Like look at Miguel's song. That song came out 13 years ago. It went viral on TikTok with a dance, and then it came back onto the Billboard Top 100 at like number 7 or something.
Yeah.
13 years later.
It's like crazy because my younger sister, she's listening to all these songs that we listened to growing up, and it's all because of TikTok.
And she's never heard them.
Well, now she
who-
she listens to all kinds of music, but like there's some songs that like she wouldn't have listened to if it wasn't for TikTok.
Fleetwood Mac. What's the song? The song that was
Dreams.
Like, is it Dreams?
Yeah.
When the guy's skateboarding with
Yeah.
Like that song. Remember, most people on TikTok, or not most, a good population of the TikTok population has never heard that song before.
Yeah.
Because they're under the age of 30 and that song's 30 years old.
So true.
Which is wild.
Okay, but bring it back to how you guys met. I know I cut you guys off there before.
Yeah, we were at Veld. We were just in the the artist area, and we're just like both standing there. There's like kind of like everybody's mingling, everybody's like having a good time, and everyone is usually.
But like Eric Henriquez.
Yeah.
I think that's like because I went and said hi to him.
Yeah.
And like you were there, and he introduced me to you, and that's like our first initial interaction. But there wasn't that many people in the artist lounge.
No, we
like,
were just chilling.
There was it was like a small community, and everyone knew each other.
Yeah, and then like a bunch of people were on stage, and like, and this sounds so bratty, but I'd rather watch a DJ or like my friend's DJ from the crowd or from like the VIP area that's back there or like on the other side of the stage.
I completely agree.
Instead of the side stage. Okay, I understand the side stage is cool and whatever, and you get your pictures and videos and fuck yeah, cool, great. But after 5 minutes, I'm like, this angle sucks.
Dude,
I can't see them. I can't see the graphics. When the fireworks come or the pyro comes, I don't get to see shit.
Dude, totally agree. And it's also, I find it so annoying, like sometimes when like my friends will ask like, oh, like, can I come backstage with you? It's like, why don't you just like watch it from the fucking crowd, front row, and like
the performance is meant for the crowd, so it's gonna be a better performance when you're watching it from that view, that angle.
And like I get it, you want your own space, like you want like there's like I could get you VIP. Like it's like why is backstage such a flex? Like it's
okay, like sometimes I get it. You're in a nightclub and you want to be in the VIP like DJ booth. Okay, I'm all for it. I get it. And then the nightclub is different because it's crowded. But when we went to we just had regular VIP wristbands, right? And I went with my buddy Citrullo, and he hooked it up. He used to work at Inc. The whole 9 yards. For me, I didn't care to be backstage VIP. I don't care. For me, I'm there to listen, have some fun. I love Loud Luxury. That's like my music too, like mashup house music kind of shit. It's my jam. So we're in the VIP. He's like, okay, we're gonna go backstage. I was like, cool. So he's like sorting out. Like he's sorting out, saying like a good 30 minutes at this point. And I'm just like, yo, let's just go back to the VP. Like, I'll buy the next round. Who cares? He's like, no, it's good. Don't worry. But then you wait a little bit, and then you go back there, and it's exactly what it is. You say hi. Okay. Then after 5 minutes, you go on stage, and there's like 100 of us in this little tiny area, the size of my condo on the side of the stage.
Can't even hear the music or like
really
see anything.
Okay, and it's cool you're there, but then I'm like, yo, let's go back out front. And he's like, no, man, like just kill. I'm like, okay, fuck, I might as well just go to the artist area. At least I get a drink for free. Like, I spent majority of their show of like the set in the artist area, and then again, not let us because like at that point it was just I think like me, you, and a handful of people in that room.
Yeah.
It's like Timmy Trumpet or something just got off, so him and his like little crew left, or Sophie Tucker. Or something.
Yeah.
So me and him are just standing there chilling. I'm just drinking. You're not a drinker, and I'm just like standing there drinking. We're just shooting the shit. Next thing you know, the boys come off, and then everyone's like sorting out where they're gonna go. Me, him, and Citrullo end up going back to Citrullo's, and he had a private driver, which was fucking clutch. Holy fuck.
Getting out of that place would have been a nightmare.
That was Bobby. We love you for that. So we get out. We end up going to Citrullo's. Just like he wanted to change, freshen up. We had a couple drinks, and then we went to Myth, and like for like a random low key dinner, and like. We weren't even supposed to go to dinner. We sat down. There was just all this extra food that they kept bringing out. So, okay, we ate a little. And then we did Paris, Texas. And that's when fun. That's when the night got pretty funny. Anyways, that's how we met. We just became boys. And we've been texting back and forth like every day now. And then we were supposed to have Young Gravy today. And he just got tied up with some other stuff. So I'm texting him. I'm like, yo, Alex, I know you're in Muskoka. Like, what are you doing tomorrow? He's like, nothing. I'm like, okay, you're coming on the podcast.
And like, thank God you are. I was away and I booked it like, my family did like a road trip, so they were driving back today, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna fly home for this podcast. So I like got my flight. It was like expensive from New York.
Yeah.
And
then
it
would have just been a waste.
I was just like, I was like, hey Rick, if you don't get anyone, like I'm like messaging anyone I know because we're getting someone on this podcast today. Because I'm like, and it worked out so perfectly.
I think she's messaged. She's like, what are you gonna do? I was like, give me literally 30 seconds, and you're the first. Because we even talked about. I'm like, yeah, I'll get you on the pod when you're back.
Yeah.
And then it worked out. And then he's from New York.
Oh, really?
Well, not from New York, but you kind of... No, L.A.
Well, yeah, I live in L.A.
Yeah, sorry. You were in New York recently.
Yeah, and I'm like in Toronto every month or so, like every other month.
So are you from Toronto?
Born in Toronto, yeah.
Born in Toronto, live in L.A.
What part of Toronto originally?
Forest Hill.
Okay. What high school did you go to?
Forest Hill.
We talked about this.
Yeah.
As soon as you said, I'm like, yeah, we talked about this. Yeah. No, but... and then we also talked about you played the Brooklyn Mirage show, didn't you?
Yeah.
How was that?
it was really sick.
See, that's a show we should have went out for. That
Yeah.
we should have went to New York that weekend.
That was a dope show. It was a really fun time.
But weren't the subways like not working or something?
Yeah.
How'd you get there?
So okay, yeah.
Tell us about the whole day.
So yeah, I like went alone, like just like for the weekend, and then I met up with this guy that I got connected with, like to take photos, and he like followed me around the whole day, and we just like had fun, like got pizza, and like
That's
my set was at like I think 4:30, and it's like 3:15 we're like eating and like not even paying attention, and then like we realized like holy shit, like we got to get going, and then we like tried to see how long an Uber would take. It was like 45 minutes, so we're like okay, like we got a Subway, and then we start subwaying and we get to like a certain stop, like the Subway stop, and then we like essentially are like fuck, like the subways aren't going past like out of Manhattan, like they're servicing it or whatever. So we fucking just get on these like city bikes and just start biking to the venue from like, it took us like 30 minutes and we got there like literally like 5 minutes before the set, sweating my ass off, like sweating.
Grossly
and then like,
sweaty.
It's like in July too.
yeah,
right?
like you can't just like
like
leave
a
like
month
your,
ago,
you
not
can't
even.
just like leave like the city bike like anywhere. Like you have to like leave it at a station. So we
Yeah.
like found the closest station, and then even that was like a 10-minute run to the venue. So we were like sprinting, and I'm like literally like,
And this is like a bigger
balls
show
deep
for
in
you
sweat.
too. It's not like
Yeah.
it's not like you're playing some random like backyard party in
No,
like Muskoka or something.
definitely like one of the like it's more like a bucket list show, because it's like you know, like it's the Brooklyn Mirage. It's a venue that every DJ like wants to play, and I'm super grateful that I got to be part of that and play that. It was really fun and ended up working out. I got there like 5 minutes before the set, which is like I should have been there a little bit earlier to like leave a good impression, but that was the best I could do. And yeah, I mean, I ripped my set and had like an awesome night after, and
That's
yeah.
one of those like for the plot stories, you know? Like,
Yeah.
It just made the story, and you had your like videographer, photographer,
Videoing the
guy.
whole time.
Yeah, so like it makes for good content.
Yeah, like we're dropping like a vlog for the whole like weekend, I think next week or like the week after, and it's gonna be like really funny. Just,
And how'd you find this guy?
one of my buddies in LA just like he saw that I was playing, and he's like, yo, you should link up with this guy. And I'm like, perfect, like I need someone to link up with. And that's what I love about like just like I guess it's like the law of attraction, like what you put out is like what you attract. And like, you know, he saw that I was doing that show, like I got connected through one person to another. It's just like a whole thing, and he's a fucking dope dude, and definitely will be working with him again.
Let me ask you this, and Danny, me and you have talked about this numerous times. Do you find that you find that good things happen to you, or you get lucky? Do you find that?
Yeah, I feel like it's like the more you just like put out like good energy and like good vibes into the universe and put yourself out there, like it's like calculated luck. Like the more you do, the more
See, I told you
things
we're
happen.
fucking similar, eh? Like I didn't know you were gonna say it, but that's like basically my exact answer. I would say
Yeah.
too. Like I just find myself, I get fucking lucky sometimes. I'm just
I
like,
also like my philosophy on like just I love to just say yes to things. Like you asked me if you like I honestly I would go to Ibiza this weekend.
You've been asking me to come to Ibiza
You asked
with
me
me.
to come to Ibiza this weekend. Like I would go, but like I just came off a trip and I have a song coming out this weekend, so it's like bad timing. But like any other weekend, like you could ask me and I'm like I say yes, and it's like that's also I think contributes to like the luck thing. Is like the more you just say yes to things and say yes to life, the more like things happen. Like I could have just left after my set. Like I've seen Loud Luxury perform a bunch of times. Like I like don't need to go and watch like a music festival. Like I don't need to be there, but like I chose to be there, and like I chose to like stay around. We ended up met a new friend. Like it's like a whole. It's you just gotta like say yes to things. I
and
find
we become
it's
like friends. We're not like
Yeah.
fringe friends either, but this is like yo, like,
Yeah.
like we've been texting almost like every fucking day now.
Yeah.
We have like a little bromance here. Man, it's
This
crazy.
is the boy right here,
This is-
baby. Like
man, I told you, it just randomly happened.
I leave for a week and it's like, oh.
Oh yeah, because Danny's been gone this whole week, so she doesn't even like basically know any of the story. So she's hearing this for the first time.
damn.
But yeah, so we went to Paris, Texas after, and like we had a really good time. And then we're not gonna talk about it on air, but like we've got a lot of like similarities and other things too that, you know, we text each other. I'm like, yo, look at this, like screen recording shit. I'm like, yo, what do you think?
We're not gonna go there.
Yeah, we're not going there.
Well, that's nice.
Well, Dan, don't you ever have? I feel like girls have that so much more than guys do, where girls would go out and meet like a new girl and become best friends instantly, like in the bathroom at a club.
Yeah, I feel like when I was younger, maybe a bit more. Not
How
so
old are
much
you?
anymore.
You're younger though.
Yeah.
What are you, 23?
23.
Yeah, 23. Yeah.
Okay,
so-
yeah.
Holy fuck, I'm old then.
Yeah, you're 10 years older.
But I've always found like I'm always the youngest around. Like I always hang from like from the time I was really, really young, I was always hanging out with like older people because I had 2 older brothers and they had a lot of friends that were always like prevalent in my life, and I became friends with them, and like I was always just like the youngest in any like situation. Like I always feel like growing up, I was always like in grade 9, I was friends with a lot of the grade 12s. In university, when I was in first year, I was like friends with a lot of the 4th years, and like good friends. Like those were like the people that I hung around a lot.
So what'd you do when they graduated though?
I had to befriend people my age.
Had to go make new friends.
Pretty much.
You're in second year making friends with 4th year, third year making friends with 4th year.
So
But no, I think by the time that like when I got to like 3rd and 4th year and like all my older friends were like graduated, like I kind of was kind of checked out of university. And also in my 4th year was like COVID year, the first year of COVID. So like honestly by 3rd year I was like sick of university. I'm like, I want to drop out and like just pursue music full time. But I like stuck it through, and I'm like, okay, like I'm just gonna finish what I started because like I'm already like I'm already like 3 years in, and like, you know, why not just like spend another 1 year just
What's
fucking
1 more year?
Exactly. So like I was already kind of checked out in that respect, and like in 4th year I literally was in Toronto because it was the COVID year, and all my friends were like partying, fucking like living it up in like this quarantined little fucking university town, and I like wanted nothing to do with it. Like absolutely nothing to do with it. I just wanted to like sit in my studio and just focus on music, and like I like was cringed at the fact of like partying.
Well,
Like
it's also a good
like,
opportunity for you to be able to like, you were
yeah,
doing virtual school, so it's like you had all that extra time on your
for
hand
sure.
without all like the social aspects. Because when you're in like, what school did you go to?
Western.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
Like, hey, like really, like we all went to Western, like really similar. Like it just keeps adding and
I
adding.
told you. The only difference is he doesn't drink. Actually, did you drink at Western or no?
I drank at Western, and like honestly in like 1st and 2nd year was like heavy like drinker, and then like kind of like eased out by the time I was like in 4th year. Wasn't drinking as much, and then yeah.
Now, do you not drink at all now, or just
At
like,
all? Yeah,
at
I'm
all?
like I'm sober like 6 months now.
Wow,
Yeah.
good for you.
And I honestly don't think I'll ever drink again. Like I'm like so, and
Are
it
you
honestly
like,
happened
like
by
a
fluke.
celebratory drink?
No, like it honestly happened by fluke. I had a herniated disc in my back like about a year ago.
Shit, I didn't know that.
Don't really know how it happened. I think just my lifestyle, and then I like did something at the gym that like triggered it, and then it just got like worse over time, and then like January of this year it was got like really fucking bad, and like I could barely walk for like a few weeks, and like it was just like really fucking painful, and it was the lowest of lows I've ever been in, and like was also like going through a breakup at that time, so like the physical health that also plays on your mental was like already bad, plus like the mental health that plays on your mental.
Oh man,
So it was like the worst of worst.
And it's dark in January. It's fucking miserably
and
cold
I was
dark.
like I'm like came back to Toronto because I like it was getting too expensive to treat it in LA, and yeah. So honestly, I'm super grateful for the injury because I've made a lot of like really healthy lifestyle choices now that I'm like really happy about. But yeah, I'm like I was in the lowest of lows, and I'm like I can't drink. Like if I drink, it's just gonna make it worse. So I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna drink for a little bit. Month goes by, 2 months goes by. I'm like starting to get a little bit better with my back. I'm doing like I did this like cortisone shot in the spine. It made it a lot better, and I'm like stretching every day. I'm doing physio, and like I'm like okay, not drinking's like really helping me. I'm like really clear headed. I have a lot more energy, and I'm like, you know what, fuck it. Like I'm just gonna ride it out and see how long I can go. And now I'm like at the point where I'm just like, yeah, I love the sober life, and I like never like by like 3rd and 4th year I was already like not really that into drinking, so it was like kind of easy for me to just continue this. And
So
now
there
I'm
wasn't like a big, other than like the injury, there wasn't any like big thing associated with drinking, which made you stop.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean it's like I'm like
I kind of like this.
yeah.
You could use a break right now, Danny. No,
But like I love being around like my friends that are drinking. Like I can still have fun. Like we had the most
Yeah.
fun, and like you would never be able to tell that I'm like sober.
yeah.
You know, like I feel like also when I drink sparkling water, because I'm like so conditioned that like sparkling water with vodka like makes you feel drunk. Whenever I drink sparkling water, I like get that energy, and like
And it's also when you're like out and about at a club, like and you have everybody's dancing on the couch. You
Yeah.
ever get up and dance on the couch too,
Yeah.
right? You're just, it's the vibe. Like, remember? So I didn't drink for a month, and like we still went out and like I ordered fucking mocktails.
Yeah.
Cause like one, I just felt bad. Like, what do you like? Do you ever feel bad when you go to the bar and you get a good seat at the bar and you're like, can I get a water? Like, hey, give me a fucking mocktail. I gotta spend a little bit of money because I feel bad for this poor server who's about to serve me, and my bill's gonna be $3 for the 6
totally.
hours I was there.
Yeah,
Right?
totally.
Remember that? Like when we went to Ruby Soho that
Yeah,
one
we just
Thursday.
sat there.
Like, you know Ruby Soho.
Yeah,
Obviously.
yeah, yeah.
So we're sitting right on King Street. Like we're on like the patio spot right on King Street. Like there's only 3 tables there, and we have one of them. So we sit down. She gets a drink. I get a water. We order nachos and chips. Nachos and chips are done in 20 minutes. I don't really want to eat. We've already had dinner.
20 minutes? You mean like 5?
Yeah, 5 minutes. So the server comes back. She's still like nursing her drink, but it's been.
Like we weren't going out to go out. Like, I was
Yeah,
like having
we-
one drink,
we
like
were
just
going out to-
casually sipping.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was after the podcast.
People
I think-
watching.
Yeah. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, our bill's like not even $25, and we've been here for at least 30 minutes, and this is like a prime placement. I was
Yeah.
like, I'll take a mocktail. She's like,
Shirley
mocktail?
Temples go hard, bro.
Yeah. Well, no, I got.
And it
some
kind
when I
of
was
brings you
like-
back to your childhood. Like I would always order Shirley Temples like in Cancun or like when I'm like away with my parents. Like
You know what? My Shirley Temple. What reminds me of? On the way back from Muskoka, there was a Montana's, or like one of those like rib places, and we'd always get racks of ribs, and I'd always get a Shirley Temple.
You keep talking about Muskoka. I thought you hated
No,
it.
Wasaga. This was
Oh,
Wasaga.
you said Muskoka.
Did I?
Yeah.
I meant Wasaga. I'd actually never minded with Wasaga when I was a kid. Where were we before we went on this no drinking thing? I don't
Veld.
remember. Veld. That's how we met. And you played Veld.
Yeah,
How was that?
really fun. First like
That's probably got to
Toronto-
be your biggest show, right?
Yeah, but like also like first Toronto festival. That was like the first festival I ever attended as like a music fan, and like I have like videos of me like in the crowd just like fucking going crazy, and like that like sparked my interest for wanting to become like a DJ. And yeah, it's just crazy to like look back, and then now I'm like on stage like performing. It's just crazy full circle.
Sorry, I'm gonna like just back it up for a second. So when did you start getting into music? Like when was like the initial?
So I've always like played piano like since I was like really young. Like I was like we had a piano in my house growing up, so I was like self-taught. My parents would like come down, and I would like I had learned like Elton John just like by ear when I was like 5-6 years old, and like my parents like tried to make me take lessons. I like really refused it, and I never really took it seriously, but always like had that ear for like melody and like just able to like listen to something and be able to play it. And then in like high school I would like fuck around with like making like rap beats, and like I would rap over them with like my boys, and like make like little parody raps. Like would like
Or you
take
come in the next like Little Dicky or something.
literally like and then there was like a phase where I like actually wanted to become a rapper, like in like middle school. Like I'm talking like grade 7, grade 8, like really really young. And then like nothing really happened with it. Like
It's like
it
not even
was
a decade ago for you.
yeah, it was like literally just like it's just fun with the boys, just like at lunch. Like they would my house was like the place to go for lunch. Like we would it was like a 2-minute walk from school, so me and my friends would always come over for lunch, and like I would like show them my like little raps and like incorporate them into the raps like with the rhyming and stuff, and it was just hilarious. And then nothing really happened with that, but I was like well versed like in like GarageBand and like Logic, and able to like
Were any of them like even half decent?
Like,
no,
do you have
like,
any of them still?
I could probably like find them at some. I'll look for them, but
When they were just gonna get a random like voice note or something.
just like terrible, just like fucking like whatever. And then in university, I like wanted to do something creative. I wanted to start like a clothing line. I had this like Distant Matter like Instagram page that I was like running.
I still love that, by the way.
Yeah.
That this distant matter thing, like you knew it was just like a concept in your mind. You didn't know what it was gonna turn
Yeah.
into, but you just loved the idea of it.
And like also like my brother who started it is also like a huge inspiration for me, and like has influenced a lot of like my taste in music. And when I was like really young, I was like a really bad kid and like always causing trouble, and my parents did not know what to do with me. And there was a phase like maybe grade 5, grade 6 where like my brother would have to like intervene and like take me out on drives and like take me out for food, because my parents like just couldn't deal with me. Like I was just picking on my little brother, causing shit around the house, like really fucking bad kid. Like I was a crazy child. And during these like drives and these like outings with my older brother, like he would play like Penguin Prison and like Rack and like all these like old like indie electronic artists that like
Sorry, have you
Of
ever
like
heard
the-
of them?
of
I've
like the
never even heard of
20 like 14, 2015, like maybe even 2013 like era of music. And like that like really like Justice, you guys know Justice,
yeah.
like that like kind of realm, like that like grungy sort of like indie electronic
Mastercraft.
scene. Yeah, and like I was like that like kind of like started my music taste, and like I really like I was really like interested in that sort of like genre of music. And then and then my brother started the page, and then I took over the page, and then it was called Distant Matter, and then wanted to do something creative. Third year rolls around, or like second year rolls around, and I'm like, you know what, fuck it, like I'm just gonna like learn how to make music, because like why not, just for fun, like actually learn how to like produce. And then I like fell in love with it. Next thing you know, I'm like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And so it was just like kind of like a full circle. Like my brother started that Instagram page, we kind of collaborated on that. He started the name, and then he was also like a huge influence to like my early days of like getting into music. So yeah, it all kind of just like came together naturally, and it's this
It is
cool
such
story.
a nice like full circle, like
Yeah.
wholesome moment.
Yeah.
Like you also like quit drinking, which is nice and wholesome. Like family.
It's also nice that family's involved.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
even like if it's from like the beginning, like obviously the music's all you, but just the creative aspect of just how even like that Instagram page started.
Yeah.
Or like even how you brought it back to like when you were a kid, like how you were a bad kid
Mhm.
and your brother's the one who helped you. But then now that's all influencing your music and like
For
how
sure.
you're like bringing that on.
Yeah, no, I'm super grateful for him, and like we're all like all of our brothers. I have 4 brothers, or
Oh,
3
wow.
brothers, 4 of us, and like we're all super close, and like we all kind of like feed off each other, and yeah, it's awesome. Like it's
What
a great.
program did you do at Western?
I was in BMOS.
Okay.
I'm like majored in like consumer behavior. It was I definitely did learn a lot. Like I feel like people say like, oh, I didn't learn shit in university. I feel like I learned actually
I
a
switched
lot about branding.
I
and,
switched
like,
careers. So I could have done any program at Western at this point. I was in kin. I'm an accountant now. So I basically redid a whole undergrad
Damn,
after.
that's like 2 opposite
so
sides
like I
of the
wish I did
spectrum.
BMOS, but yeah.
Do you know what I wish I did BMOS too? I did MIT, and I think it's the most useless program ever. And I can confidently say that. Karl Marx, like our whole program's built off Karl Marx, and I still couldn't tell you what the fuck he did. I could not tell you the pillars of Marxism. And like, nor did I care.
Dude,
Like-
the school system's just so fucked.
Like I learned more about marketing and like comms and PR and all that stuff in my 1 year of college, which was less than 8 months if you think about it, than I did in my entire 4 years at Western.
Well, I did
And you did the same.
I did the
program.
same program, and I learned so much in that year because that's when I was going more into like the sports and events side of things. Learned everything in that year, and it's all experience. But then again, I've also learned more switching careers during COVID and becoming an accountant, going back to school part-time. And I don't know if it's because I'm older now and I'm actually paying attention and actually wanting to learn.
Mhm.
That's what it is.
But like my accounting classes, like there's some of them that are bullshit I don't care about. And then the other ones I'm like, oh, this is actually helpful. And this is how I can tie this into work.
And sorry, this kind of tying it back to school. Did you take any programs at Western on music production? Or like, how did you
dude,
like?
I
You
honestly,
said you were like trying to actually learn to make music.
yeah.
How did you actually
So I
learn?
like took an online course outside of school. That was like an 8-week program. It was like very specialized, like one-on-one teaching and like small classes. And I did that during school. So I took less classes at school.
Okay.
And like that semester that I took that course, I took less classes and like piled them up on the second semester. And then I also did like a couple classes online at like Berkeley for like specialized like in like vocal production and like mixing, which are like 2 different kind of like separate realms of like music production. And I think between like those 3 sort of courses, I like really learned like the basics and like the rules. And then I like now I'm able to know like how to break them, because I feel like when you just follow like the rules and follow like how everything your like music doesn't really have life to it.
You're just gonna make the same stuff that everybody else. is
Exactly. It's like I needed to learn the rules so I know how to break them, and like now I'm like able to kind of create my own sound based on like what I've like learned in the early stages.
Well, what do you think is your greatest strength then? Like, is it the music production? Is it the vocal editing? Or I'm a normal person. I don't know much about music. Like, I love
The
music.
way you said that, though, I'm a normal person.
Well, like I don't know what other aspects to making music are there. It's like, okay, you make the beats, you
Dude, it's like
fuck around with the vocals, and
there's
write
like
the
there's
lyrics
like
and
drum
boom.
production, there's like
So, yeah,
harmony
like-
production, there's melody, there's
there we
like
go.
mixing, mastering, there's vocal production, there's like lyric writing, there's
Yeah, see, I would've said-
do you
there's
do it
some-
all?
Yeah, like I do pretty much everything, but whenever I'm like working with another like artist that's like a featuring singer, we'll work together on like the lyrics and melody. But like in terms of everything like production wise, it's all me, like from drums to like the pianos to the synths.
So yeah, what do you think is your biggest strength?
I would say like
One specific thing.
just like songwriting. Like I would say like building like chords and like melodies, and then like actually like writing lyrics with other people. Like I would say like like actually like making like a song that like makes you feel something like that. I feel like that's my strength, because I started on the piano, and now like merging that like world from like piano to like the computer, I feel like you got to have a song first and then you produce it out. Does that make sense? Like you have to have like an actual song first, like a song that you can just play acoustically on piano. You can sing it, you can sing the melodies, and like you'll be able to feel something, and then you bring it to the DAW and you build it out and you produce it out. You
And then
can
you can
produce
add
it
the
out a
layers.
million different ways, but if you don't have a song first, no one's gonna fucking feel anything, because it's just gonna sound like an electronic song that like it's just noises. Like
But do you think most people do it your way, or do they do it the other way, where they slowly build a beat, and then from a beat they build, another layer and another layer? They get
I feel like,
kind of a hymn,
yeah.
and then a hymn. They get some words, and then because like I even watched, and we've had so many musicians on this podcast, like at least I don't know 30, and a lot of them say like when they go into their writing, what do they call me, in writing camps?
Yeah.
So they'll walk into a room with 5 other people, and they'll
Yeah.
bring in an idea. It's not a song, but
yeah,
it's like a beat.
yeah, like
And
a
it's
spark.
got these 3 beats, and they've got a word that's like attached to these beats.
Yeah,
And then they build it out from there. Whereas like I feel like you're almost
yeah.
you're going more as like I have a theme of a full song. Let's build out this theme now.
So I mean, yeah, I mean, in terms of my strength, that's my strength. But like in terms of process, it's very different. Like there are times where I'll write a full song on my piano, and then I'll bring it into the DAW, build it
What's
out.
the DAW?
Like digital audio, like
Oh, okay,
workstation,
so
like
the
your like
digital.
Logic or GarageBand. I use Ableton, so I'll bring it into Ableton, like
DAW.
a full like song. Maybe the lyrics aren't written, but like the chords and like the rough melodies are there, and I'll bring that into Ableton and then produce it out, and then I'll bring that into a writing camp with like other singers and writers, because like I love working with other writers. I think that's like where my synergy lies, like in terms of my greatest strength versus like when I'm collaborating with people. I thrive in like a writing session, so that's like one way I can do it. But also there's like times where like I have this folder on my computer called Scooby Snacks, which are just like those little like tiny ideas. I'll bring like a Scooby Snack into like a writing session that's like literally just like an 8-bar loop of like maybe drums and like a couple little like chords and maybe like a lead melody that's like a synth, and like we'll build it out from there. Like so it can kind of vary based on how I'm feeling, but I think for the most part it's like I'm coming up with like a lyrical idea with a song, bring that into the Ableton, build out the beat, and then I'll take that beat to a writing session with that like rough song idea.
Makes sense. Yeah.
It's also dependent on like who you're working with too.
For sure.
And I feel like every like song probably maybe has a different process.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's like there's beauty in that. Like I feel like having the same process each time for a song, it just becomes like robotic.
Oh, it'd be terrible.
And like I'm a big believer that like art imitates life, and like if you're having the same process every single time, like it's gonna sound robotic. Whereas like if you're spontaneous and you're just like letting things like flow naturally, like based on like how things evolve like organically, like the song will feel different because maybe that process has never been done before, or like.
Well, the thing is too with music, you can take that same Scooby Snack and bring it into a session with artist A, B, and C, and come up with this song that sounds like I don't know 1. You can bring it into a different session with 3 different people, and it's a completely different song.
Exactly.
Even though it started
yeah.
with those same 8 beats or those same eight chords, whatever.
Yeah.
It's just the emotion and the direction that you can
Yeah.
take. In music, it's infinite.
For
right?
sure.
There's, there's no two. Well, I guess there's obviously 2 songs that'll sound the exact same, but like there are so many different ways you can make a song and so many
For
different
sure.
sounds that it's literally infinite.
And that's why, like, I feel like everyone's got their own, like, personal background that they come from, like, their own life experiences. And when you get into that vulnerable state of, like, really just, like, pouring out, like, being a vessel for creativity, like, making something tangible that, like, doesn't exist beforehand, your life experiences that everyone has unique ones, like, different ones, those life experiences will, like, influence, like, what comes out. So there's, like, obviously millions of possibilities, but also millions of different life experience that everyone's gone through. So it's like just a fucking quantum realm of just probability. Like there's just so much. You could wake up in the morning, make a song in the morning, and then make that same song like at night, and it'll be different just based on like your mood. You know, it's so crazy. It's like, that's what like, it's like, it's a diary of your life. Like every song I make, I want it to be like a diary of like a digital audio diary. Like, you know, it's just.
Okay, question. We've actually asked this question before, but do you write songs better when you're like in a good place in your life or when you're in a bad place?
It's tough because when I'm in a bad place, I like don't want to create at all. Like I'm like, I fucking like it's, and like I need to get better at like creating when I'm down, because whenever I do create when I'm down, I always do end up coming with something like super emotional, but it's always on the sad side. Whereas like my music is more like happy, good vibes. And yeah, I don't know. It's like,
no, I think that's so on brand to like, especially when we've like asked this question before. It's like the people.
Who was it? Peter Takis. Do you know Takis?
yeah, I've heard of it.
So we've
before.
had him on the podcast.
But it's just like we've had a couple other people too. Like I'm pretty even like sure like it was like Preston Pablo and other people, but they've come on and it depends on the genre of music. And
Yeah.
everyone has a different answer. Like, it was when someone has like more of like a slower, sadder songs, or when they just went through this massive breakup.
Yeah.
They wrote better songs.
It's funny because you can still write a song and produce a song that is a feel-good, happy song that is lyrically sad.
For sure.
Like the best example, I was thinking about this the other day, Chemical by Post Malone. Like I listen to that song and I'm bopping my fucking head back and forth. And I normally don't listen to the words. I just sing along, but I don't actually listen to what they're saying.
Yeah.
And then I was listening to the song Chemical and I was like, this is the most toxic song I've ever fucking heard.
Yeah.
But it puts the biggest smile on my face every time I hear it. I'm like, wow, this song's great. But, you know, songs basically this person was like a drug to them and really bad. And it was a chemical and all this fucking shit's fucked. And meanwhile, I'm like, you know, blah, 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 blah. Like, you know, fucking with the biggest smile on my face. So I guess it all depends.
Yeah.
Because, again, you could write a song out of a sad or a dark place, but someone else it can mean something happy to someone else. Just as
For
like,
sure.
you know, like when a good thing ends, you know, you write that in a sad or like a meaningful, like a dark place, but someone hears that, it's like, yeah, you're right. When a good thing ends, but I'm ready for the next. Like
For sure.
It's infinite possibilities.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like I have some fucking good songs that are sad that I'll just never release because it's just not on brand. Yeah, and it's just not on brand for me. But like I have these songs, and like one day if I'm in a session with like Ed Sheeran or like
I like that
Laroi or like Bieber, which like it's possible. Like I know people that have been in rooms with them, and so if I'm ever in a room with like someone that makes sad music, like I can bring that out and be like, oh, I made this 10 years ago or like 5 years ago, whatever it is. So it's like I still will like cherish those like sad songs. I won't just like toss them out. They'll stay in like my Scooby snack folder. But for the most part,
it's like a subfolder.
Exactly.
Sad songs.
Yeah.
Scooby sad songs.
Scooby sads. But yeah, I feel like for the most part, when I'm in like a good place, that's where I feel like I get the best music. Cause I like when I'm like in a good fucking place and I'm creating, I'm like jumping around my room like, holy fucking shit. Like I just made this like building it out, and like I do like a little move and like maybe like a little drum fill, and I'm like running around my room just like fucking dancing. I sometimes like take videos of me like just dancing in my room, like loving what I'm making because
man, if I had any musical
that's a
talent,
good feeling though.
If I had any musical talent, I think I'd be like him.
Yeah,
like
it's a
yo,
good feeling.
Made this banger. It's like, what'd you do different from yesterday? I added this one drum in there.
Yeah,
fucking fired
See,
up.
but that's the thing, and that's how I know you. Like you would be exactly like that because
I have zero
it's
musical
so
talent.
like it's so like you geek out over the smallest fucking shit. And like when I live in LA with 2 other music producers, so like we're always like geeking out over like small little shit that we've done, and like at the end of the day we'll like sit and like show each other what we make, and always getting feedback from each other, which is I think really a really good environment to be in. And I think being in that environment has like drastically improved my music abilities.
When did you move out to LA?
September of last year, so it's coming up on about a year now.
Do you see a big difference? Like, are you happy you made the decision to move out there for like?
For sure, it's to this day like I think the best decision I've ever made personally and business wise, like tied together. Because from a business standpoint, like LA is like where everything's happening, especially in electronic music, and there's so many events, so many people. I've met so many people, collaborated with so many people, and also just personally like. It fits my lifestyle really well. Like it's very laid back, it's very chill, and I think I'm like I got really lucky with like the location, the people that I'm living with, because I got all my like my whole routine around me. Like I'm like 5 minutes from an Erewhon. I'm 2 minutes away from
best place.
Yeah, it's the best place on fucking earth.
That's the grocery store I told you about.
It's literally.
So where are you in LA?
I'm like West Hollywood, like near the Grove.
Oh, okay, yeah. I just stayed right by there in May when I was just there.
Is that where I was near?
I
was.
No, you were like in Hollywood. You were like North Hollywood.
Yeah. The Chinese theater.
Yeah, that's where Laszewo was there.
I was
so that's like more north
for me.
me.
Could have went out when I was there.
That's the Erewhon I went to 3 times. Because my sister needed $30 smoothies that were awful.
Dude, the Erewhon like is a cheat code. It's just so fucking good.
But you walk in and it's like everything's perfect. So I was just in the Hamptons, and there's like the Erewhon of the Hamptons, like New York, called Cinderella. Not as good as like Erewhon, not even close.
Yeah.
But it's pretty high up there. And we actually like spent an hour in the grocery store, like just walking around.
Because they just have like so many fucking cool little snacks, and I'm a big snacker, and I love. They've got like just everything's healthy, and like I think experiencing Erewhon has made me be like, okay, I want to get to the point in my career where I can go to Erewhon every single day and it doesn't even make a dent. Like it doesn't even matter. Right now,
those are good goals.
You don't
right now I go and it's like I have to really think about like, okay, I'm not gonna like go out this weekend. Like I'm gonna save some money. I'm not gonna eat out. I'm gonna like save some money so I can go to Erewhon twice this week. Like it's like I really have to think about it. And like I grocery I don't grocery shop at Erewhon. Like I grocery shop at Sprouts, which is a lot cheaper. Yeah. I'll only go to Erewhon for like little snack runs. Like my favorite part of my day is I'll go and I'll get some sun in the park, and before I go to the park, I'll stop at Erewhon and I'll get like a little thing of mango chunks and a coconut water and like maybe like a protein bar or like something else. Like I'll maybe like if I'm feeling scandalous, I'll get like a little smoothie or a little smoothie bowl or like something, like if I'm feeling good. And I'll go to the park and I'll sit there for an hour and I'll like write, and I'll just like read and I'll write. That's my favorite part of my day. But I have to like really think about, okay, like how many times can I afford to do this week? And that's like, I want to get to the point in my career where I can like go every day and grocery shop there, and it doesn't even make a fucking dent. Like I want to, like that's my fucking goal.
No, you know what? I actually follow these like.
Do you want to win a Grammy and
no, be able to shop at Erewhon.
I want to be able to shop. I want to be able to shop. Not only shop, I want to grocery shop too.
Yeah.
No, but and it's like really, really expensive.
Yeah.
So I follow these private chefs in LA. So they're going grocery shopping for their clients. They're getting everything. Like you're not gonna get a $30 bottle of water. It's water, but you're gonna get it because your clients can pay for it. Or they'll make an $1,000 pizza because it's just how expensive everything is at Erewhon.
Literally.
But there's no question about it. They're just getting it because it's the best of the best. Do you have to sprinkle this little hemp seeds or whatever on it? No, not really. But it's going to cost $50 at Erewhon, and you're going to get it because it's health. That is a great goal.
So that's where me and you differ.
Yeah.
I grocery shop at like whatever the budget grocery store is like near me. If I even grocery shop. That's one thing I don't care about. I'm such a health freak. Like the best example is today, I went to Popeyes to get supplements. As soon as you push the episode, I was like, perfect. I'm going to go downtown. I'm going to stop off and drop my shit off, go for a walk to the local supplement store, get some supplements and come back. And they always say the same thing. What are you looking for when you come in? I buy the same 2 things every time. I buy a thermogenic, which is like a fat burner, and then a pre-workout. And those are like my go-tos, like my staples. Just because one I enjoy. For anybody listening, a thermogenic is great first thing in the morning on your drive to work. 'Cause it guarantees you drink 500 milliliters of water before the first like hour of your day. So if anyone wants a little code on how to stay fit, boom, that's one for free. And then I walk in, I'm like, you have any recommendations? Good. And then I always do it every time. I'm like, what do you got that's like another random item?
Mm-hmm.
Today I spent $100 on a multivitamin. Like what the? And I'm still thinking about it. Like $100. And I looked at the guy. I was like, you sure, man? He's like, man, trust me. I was like, And he wasn't more jacked than I was.
I also feel like you were testing him. Like I felt like you're like, okay, so what are your top 3? Go. And I was like,
Well,
hey, this is like a test. I'd be shitting my pants.
I'm a big supplement guy. I buy a lot of fucking supplements. So I know what's good and I know what's not good. And then he told me this $100 multivitamin. I was just like, man, for a guy to be going out of his way recommending this, it's either they're getting paid good money to promote this, or it's got to be a good one. And he genuinely seemed like it was a good one. He's like, I take it.
It kind of makes sense though. Like AG1 is like a multivitamin, probiotic, symbiotic, all in one. And that's like $110 a month.
And do you know what got me when he said that? It's got that one. I don't even know what it was.
Ashwagandha.
No, it wasn't ashwagandha. It was the other one because ashwagandha's cheap.
Ooh.
It had that other one that was $80 for the little pills. And he's like, this has
it's with a U.
50% of it. I was like, fuck it. All right. Like, whatever.
But like nothing's better than fucking feeling good and like being healthy.
Do you know what? As I said, as soon as we left, I told her this. I don't mind spending money on supplements because every time I go to the gym now, I feel like I have to work out harder because I'm spending more money to do this.
Yeah.
It's like when you go to Barry's boot camp.
I was literally there today.
There you go. Are you gonna have a bad workout at Barry's?
That's why I pushed the
Is that how you
class.
pushed it?
Yeah.
Are you gonna have a bad workout at Barry's when you're paying $35 plus parking to work? It's a $50 workout.
Yeah.
If I'm paying $50 to work out, you bet your fucking sweet ass.
Why is
I'm
it so
bringing
expensive?
110%.
It's so ridiculous.
I used to have a personal trainer, even though I don't need one. I used to have a personal trainer just because in the winter months, it's easy to fall off the wagon in the winter, and I go to a lot of Leafs and Raptor games too. So it's easy to just come to my condo, do a quick 40-minute workout, and then go to the game. Yeah. So I paid. It was like $100 or $80 a session, and I think it's for someone like me who I'm like I'm not as good as a personal trainer, but I'm I've been doing this long enough where it's like I'm probably as good as some of the beginner personal trainers. Right. And I'm like I'm paying $80 cash post tax money. Like that's fucking like $150 pre-tax money each session. And I'm thinking, like, I'm paying that each time I work out. That's plus my supplements. Plus I still have my gym memberships too that I'm like wasting because I'm going to a special gym just for this one guy. But I'm like, I know when I get there, I don't fucking half-ass it at all. I don't skip it because if you cancel within 24 hours, like you only get half your money back. Yeah. So I used to fucking bring it and give 110% because I knew I was paying that much money. And that one workout a week was always my best workout because you're paying for it.
Exactly. But that's why, like, getting to a point in your career where you can buy all that shit and it doesn't matter. You can pay that personal trainer $80 a session. You can go to Erewhon, buy the nicest food. You can get all the nicest supplements so you fucking feel good.
Yeah, that's true.
Just wait. We have to go to LA.
But then, well, now we have a friend too when we go.
And we can go to Erewhon.
So I went to, well, we
every day
know each other, but I went to LA alone back in March. So I was going to Vegas for work. And I hadn't been to LA in probably like 3 or 4 years. And I genuinely like LA. Do I love it like I love Europe? No. Do I love it like I love, California? Like I love like Miami or Florida? No. But I was like, I haven't been in a few years. Let me go. The Raptors were playing. The Raptors were playing the Lakers. So I'm like, that's a good thing. Plus, which DJ or somebody else was.
You were supposed to have a pickleball tournament. That got canceled.
There was supposed to be a pickleball tournament. So I went. My pickleball tournament got canceled. So I went to see the Raptors play, and I went to see Robin Schultz at the Academy.
That's a sick venue.
Do you know what? I fucking hated it.
Really? I
fucking hated it. And I told this on the podcast once. I didn't use Robin Schultz's name, but I already said it now, so I'm gonna say it. I didn't think he was good at all, and I love Robin Schultz, one of my favorite DJs, producers, whatever. Like his music, I love. It's like feel good tropical house. Yeah. I went there and he was playing like hardcore, like techno, like dark stuff. Yeah. I'm like, I was there for an hour and a half, and I didn't sing a fucking single song. I'm like, I was expecting to sing and be like all happy, like tropically dancing, and I was by myself too. Yeah, I had a miserable time, so I left it. And then I went back to some like random speakeasy in West Hollywood. Saw Miguel there. Remember I told you this? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a full circle moment on the podcast.
Have you ever been to Barney's in West Hollywood?
Did I go to Barney's? No.
Best place on earth.
She knows everywhere I went because I was just like, I was there by myself and she loves LA. So I'm like, here's where I'm going tonight. Here's where I'm going.
I like texted him like lists. I'm like, hey, do this at this time, this at that time.
Do you know what I do like about LA though? It's like just so many more people are outside at all times. Yeah. Like in Toronto or New York.
No one walks anywhere.
No, but I said people are outside.
Okay.
Bro, LA is a sitcom.
People are always outside.
It is so fucking
anytime
funny.
You looked outside, there's always people there. You look at Toronto or New York in the winter, I feel like it's kind of dead outside.
Oh yeah, well the weather is also a big thing, but I'm just like New York. No, New York's always busy, even in the winter. Like I can be walking the streets in New York and it's like always busy. Yeah, LA is just like I find it the most interesting thing because like in West Hollywood, I like usually stay there. You walk outside. No one's walking anywhere. You get in a car, you get in an Uber, and you're driving somewhere. Then people are outside. Yeah. Whereas I'm like, okay, it's literally a 5-minute walk. I can walk this. Yeah. So I'm sitting there, and people know I'm a tourist because no one else around me is walking.
That's why I can't like live in LA. Like I don't think I love living there now. Like it's good for right now, but I don't think I'll ever like start a family there. Like it's way too spread out for me. It's too dirty. It's unsafe at times.
Well, so I also noticed from like where I was staying to the Grove, it was like a 20-minute walk, I would say.
Yeah.
Because I was near Beverly Center.
Yeah. But that's like a sliver. Like you're like
But
not even get like
I'm walking like 2 blocks, feel safe, feel great.
Yeah.
3 blocks, and I'm like, and the homeless.
Exactly.
Like, everything
Because
that's happening
one
right now
block,
too,
you walk 1 block one way and it's completely different.
it's just completely different. And then now I'm at the Grove and I feel completely safe again.
Yeah.
And then like I know the area and everything's great.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's just very, I don't know. And I felt it
Yeah,
more
that
this time than in the
Fairfax,
past.
like Fairfax and Beverly is like super sketch, but then you walk 2 streets east
and then you're
and
completely
you're
fine.
like at the Air One.
Yeah.
And like it's a very like Jewish community. Like everyone's like walking around with families. Like it's
just like very great, bad, great.
Yeah.
It's just everything's so spread out.
So let me ask you, what do you think your living situation will be like in 5 years?
so I think like the goal, like I want to live in like Santa Barbara or like San Diego or like potentially Miami. I think
Would you live there full
San
time?
Diego, Miami, very different vibes.
I know. Well, I think like Miami's just like I feel like a smaller LA.
It's different, right? You got to remember, Miami is very predominantly like Spanish.
Yeah, and I want to learn
Like-
Spanish.
Okay.
That's
Whereas I feel
also one of my lifetime goals is to learn Spanish.
Okay.
Do you know any other languages?
No, I fucking wish.
It'd be the easiest one to learn.
Yeah.
I like learned it in university for fun.
Yeah.
And like if I kept
But
it,
you also speak
but I
French.
speak French, so it's a
True.
lot easier for me to learn that.
Right.
But like I feel like when you're in the States, everyone speaks Spanish, no matter where you are. So like
Yeah.
that's actually something good to know. Probably.
Yeah.
Spanish is like, if you're gonna, I don't know, unless you're like of Asian or Indian descent, I feel like your kids should learn Spanish. Like French, ew, no offense. What other languages what other countries do they speak French in?
France.
Okay, and
All the islands.
Canada. What else?
The islands.
What
Switzerland.
All the French islands in the Caribbean.
All
They
the
all
French
speak
islands.
French.
Okay, but what's
Africa.
Yeah, a lot of people speak French
So-
in Africa.
South America?
Lebanon.
Speaks Lebanese.
They speak French too.
Okay, but their second language. Then. You think about Spanish in North America is, I think, what, the 3rd most spoken language?
I don't know languages
Second?
that well.
Okay, well it's like the States.
And then you got to remember South America, Spanish. Caribbean, Spanish. So,
I'm gonna look this up, but I had a question for you because we were talking about goals before and we talked about Erwan, but I actually want to talk about like a real goal. Who would you like to collaborate with?
In my life,
man, you're
Yeah.
killing them today. These are good ones.
like all-time
Like
life.
who is like your dream person to collaborate with, alive or dead? Do one alive, one dead if you need, whatever you
Honestly,
want.
Justin Bieber.
That's a great
That's a
answer.
fair answer.
Because I think like my production with his like voice and just like his vibe and like
J Beebs.
yeah, I think we would make a fucking
can't go wrong
banger. And
with
I
Taylor.
also like that like 2016 era of dance music where like Major Lazer and like DJ Snake were like super popping.
Sorry.
And fucking Bieber did a lot of EDM collabs, and then a lot of his like on that album, I think Justice was like fucking produced by Diplo and Skrillex, and like I just think like yeah, he's got the sickest voice.
What was the song Jack U? The song by Jack U, which was Diplo and Skrillex that Bieber was on.
Where Are You Now?
Where are you now?
Yeah, like that's a
Fucking
perfect
banger.
example of like a song I wish I made. There's like a play. I have a playlist of songs that like I wish
Everyone's
I
missing made
like
that fucking
I
song.
wish I made that song.
Okay? Sorry, before you answer the person who's dead that you would want to collaborate. What are give us 3 other songs that's on that playlist of songs you wish you created?
Better Not by Lose the Child. That was
Okay.
probably the first song that was on
Really?
that list, but I don't like that kind of music anymore. I think
Okay.
Future Bass like had its moment, and like
Okay, that's an interesting one.
it's crazy. I think Future Bass is like so cringe now, and like I get why people didn't like it when I like because that's how I started. I started making Future Bass.
Okay. What are give 2 other songs now?
Summer by Calvin Harris,
Banger.
Okay, great song.
Banger.
and probably there's this Chromeo remix, Greenlight. Have you ever heard the Chromeo Greenlight remix by like Lord Greenlight Chromeo remix? It's the greatest fucking tune of
I'll
all
have to listen
time.
to it after.
Danny, over to you actually on the same question. What are 3 songs you wish you would have created if you were a musician?
No, I can't. I have no musical talent.
So who cares? What are 3 songs you wish you created?
Treat You Better, Rufus.
Banger.
Oof.
Banger.
I literally am at a loss. Silence.
It's honestly so funny though, because if I was not a Rufus fan and I went to a Rufus concert, I would think that the whole fucking concert was one song.
So we had 2 friends that came with us, and
Like,
they were like, "I'm listening to the same song over and over," but like, I listen
feel like
to
that's what
Rufus.
everyone
It's like the
thinks.
same like.
Oh, any
chorus.
Kygo song.
See, mine would be Levels.
Obsessed.
If I could create one song, I would create Levels.
By Avicii.
Because that song, I feel like, really it catapulted EDM and like
Oh,
the
for
whole
sure.
era of like EDM music.
Yeah.
Or, you know, like another one, or I'd go like a classic, like something that never gets old, like Don't Stop Believing by Journey or something wild like that. You know, something that still slaps 40 years later. Like I Will Survive, Gloria Gaynor, something like that. You know, something just wild. But no, Levels of Each would be mine.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I just feel like that'd be a cool one to make. Back to you. The artist that you'd want to collaborate who's no longer with us.
If there is even one.
Well, I mean, does Pink Floyd count? Because like members are still with us, but like they are not like releasing
Yeah,
music
that,
anymore.
you know
That's
what?
a good answer,
That's
yeah.
actually a good, yeah.
Yeah, that's how you interpreted the question, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't know if it would be like a Distant Matter collab, but I just like would love to be in the
Why, do
studio.
you have an alter ego?
I want to have like multiple.
Oh,
That's like another like thing that I want to do other than just like
Right.
Distant Matter. Like I want to build up Distant Matter as like my main sort of like alias, like a Diplo, and then have like a Major Lazer, have a Jack U, have different like aliases under that.
I've always said this, and I don't love watching Diplo perform a lot of times because you don't know which Diplo you're going to get.
Right.
Because Diplo, to me, if you turn on Spotify or Apple Music and you listen to Diplo,
Yeah.
you get main like EDM top 40 Diplo.
Yeah.
You know, that's what you get on your iTunes or your Spotify like top playlist.
Yeah.
Sometimes you hear him play, it's just like, I don't even know what the fuck I'm listening to. I'm listening to like crazy Major Lazer, like
Yeah.
hard stuff. Then he had a residency in Nashville, didn't he? Where he played like he has a country alter ego.
Yeah.
It's like a country EDM.
Thomas, like
whatever.
Thomas
Yeah.
Wesley
Yeah.
or whatever.
So it's like you really don't even know what you're gonna get sometimes because again I've heard him so many times and every single time he sounds very different.
I know. Yeah. I mean, it's
Mind
like
you, when
that's
you're that big, like
Yeah.
dude, I don't think he gives a fuck what I think. But.
no.
And he's also
And also
super
when
cool.
you've been around for that long and you have multiple aliases like that, like it just doesn't matter and he just does what he wants. Which
It's
like
fucking Diplo.
yeah.
That's it. What's your dream venue to play?
That's what I was going to ask.
These are the good ones at the
I
end.
think like me and literally every single other producer is like Red Rocks.
Good answer.
That's our favorite answer.
That's the correct answer.
But like
no, correct,
Coachella would be sick too. I mean, I don't know if that's like a venue.
No,
That's more like
no,
what
that's-
festival.
That's a festival, but that's
But
still.
like-
It doesn't matter. It's still a venue.
Yeah.
though.
I'm gonna play Red Rocks one day. Like that's happening.
We will come.
we will be there.
Danny, we should make it a fucking thing. Any guest who comes on the podcast that plays Red Rocks, we have to go see.
Twist my arm.
I feel like this could get expensive in a couple of years, though.
That's okay.
I mean, like,
If it's like one concert.
have you been to Red Rocks?
No. And honestly, like I have this like deal with myself that I'm not gonna go until I'm performing there.
That's
And
fair.
same with Coachella. I'm not going to Coachella until I perform there.
Okay.
Those are like pretty good goals. Like,
Because I want my first time to be there, like me performing. I get like the full fucking experience.
See, but at the
Being a
same
fan
time-
and a performer.
Yeah,
but
but-
imagine being a fan at that venue, then actually going to perform at that venue.
Yeah,
It's like, holy
like-
shit!
I
I was
know.
like,
You
it's
know,
like,
like, we
there's
think
two
about-
sides to it because I can
Yeah.
see yours, how cool it'd be like to
Yeah.
just go and be like, I'm here. This is where like I've always wanted to be. But then there's also that other side where it's like, we went to Red Rocks last year, and like, could you imagine 5 years from now you become like? Sorry, I'm just laughing. But like, imagine like you were ever on that side. How cool it'd be! Like it's like a full circle
Yeah.
moment.
Well, it's like think about Vel, but think about it on a way bigger scale for you.
Yeah.
Like, how crazy would that be? Like, you saw what Joe and Andrew posted the first time I think they went to Veld.
Yeah.
And then they played one of the side stages in front of like 200 people.
Yeah.
Then, a couple of years ago, they were playing secondary stage, or I think they played like a daytime slot. And, this, 2 weeks ago, they were the sub headliners right before fucking Tiesto playing a sunset set, basically. Like
crazy.
Why?
Well, I just think one of the biggest things, like Fred again.
But Fred again's also an anomaly. Like nobody blows up overnight like Fred again.
But he's also like he
wild.
also like has been around for like years before the Fred again project.
Yeah.
He's produced for like Ed Sheeran, multiple other people, and like he's just
been
also
around.
like,
but I'm saying himself performing last December, November here at History, and then 3 months later, Frank Ocean's off. He's on as the headliner.
Yeah,
and fucking crushed it.
And like literally, it was like apparently unbelievable.
Yeah,
He's
honestly,
headlining
I wouldn't
now.
be surprised if like next time he comes to Toronto, he like sells out Scotiabank.
Maybe not Scotia, but Bud Stage, or like.
But
Echo
honestly,
Beach.
they got to stop fucking doing DJs at Bud Stage. It's
Agreed.
so bad for DJs because you can't hear the bass,
But the
you can't hear
problem
the
is-
drums. Singers are good at Bud because it's like a voice can cut through a guitar, and it's like a guitar and like.
So let me ask you this: in the city of Toronto, where else do DJs? A DJ of that size, where else do they play?
Like, dude, History's fucking it, bro. It's
History's-
sick.
History's
It's
amazing.
so
History's-
sick.
What? 7,000 people, 6,000.
But like,
No, 1,500,
no,
2,000.
it's bigger than that.
no, yeah, I think
It's
it's
at
like
least four.
2,500.
I think it's
2,500.
2,500.
It's more than that. I don't know, but it's like close.
I think it's 2,500.
I think it's 2,500 capacity. 2,500.
Yeah.
2,500. And you're correct.
But like,
So where do you go after that?
I don't know. Maybe you just do like 3 nights at History. Like Kate did 2 nights back to back at History, both sold out.
It's tough because again,
I don't know.
DJs
I
you
think
almost-
Fred again could do
DJs
Scotia.
DJs are better off on Thursdays to Sundays. We all know that.
Yeah,
You know what
for
I mean?
sure.
Like, you don't want we would go, but you don't want to go see Fred again on a fucking Tuesday.
No.
You want to go on a Thursday to Sunday kind of thing. And if you're only doing Thursdays to Sundays, you're playing back to back those like maybe a place like Danforth Music Hall. Actually, no, because
That's
Danforth
less.
Danforth is
It's
less.
less,
It's
you're
like
right.
1,500.
Yeah.
Massey Hall's less too. So what else? Where do you go? Where's that gap between?
Yeah.
Oh, is
Well,
it Echo
but, like,
Beach?
but-
Is it Woodbine Park like
No,
Rufus
yeah,
did
Echo
last
Beach
year?
is also Echo Beach I think is a little bit smaller than
Yeah, it's,
than
I think it's
Bud.
only 4,000.
But like even Echo Beach like isn't that sick of it.
I'd rather see someone at Bud Stage than Echo Beach.
Yeah.
So what's the
I
next
don't know. There needs
answer?
to be like a fucking new venue that's
and
like
also,
in that
but I
middle
also
ground.
hate Skydome and Scotiabank for DJs. I think any spot that I got, like, it's tough to say. It's just impossible. Because I remember seeing Swedish House Mafia at Rogers Center or Skydome.
So they were
No,
at
was
this,
that
they
the-
were at Sky. I thought they always thought they were at
No,
Scotia.
they were at Scotiabank.
They were at Skydome
I was in grade 11.
2012.
Yeah, grade
And
and
11.
so was
Skydome.
Avicii
No, was
in,
it-
in like
really?
2013.
I'm 100% sure. I'll bet that. Kygo did Scotiabank Arena. That was amazing.
Yeah.
And that worked for him because Kygo's not DJ, you know, like
Yeah.
he plays the piano and like he's
Yeah.
got singers
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
come
His
out.
his live set's sick.
and he's done a great job of transitioning from just a producer to like an actual, show. Like Chainsmokers did a good job of that as well.
Exactly, yeah.
Chainsmokers were producers, DJs, and then
Yeah.
whatever Drew learned how to sing or took vocal lessons, whatever.
For
Now
sure.
he sings, and it
Yeah.
adds that next element. Fred again is not really a DJ. He's a
He's a performer.
whatever you call that little thing.
Yeah.
he
He's a
does.
musician.
Yeah, and he has
He's
the
like
DJ
a
with him. right?
live electronic musician.
Rogers Center.
Yeah, it was Rogers. I remember a whole group of us went.
I went.
We were all crazy fucked up. But yeah. Yeah, I know. Coachella, I still think you should still go see Coachella because it would be one of those things where it could also motivate you.
Listen.
Unless you have all the motivation.
My roommates, they go by the name Laszewo. So I live with the 2 producers, and then they have like a girl singer. I think like they're gonna play Coachella in the next like couple years. Like I'm very confident in it, and like I'm like really trying to manifest that for them too. Like I really believe in them. If they go and play Coachella, I can't not go because
That's
those are
fair.
like my best friends in the whole world.
What's their name? Sorry.
What?
What's their name?
Laszewo.
Laszewo? How do you spell
Laszewo.
that?
Laszewo. And like nobody knows how to pronounce it
Laszewo.
just by looking at it. But it's
Laszewo.
my favorite thing is that they like play into that. And like their whole like thing is like, we don't know how to pronounce it either, which I think is genius.
What kind of music do they make?
They're like indie electronic, some of the most talented people
Like a
I've ever met.
Disclosure, Rufus kind of
They're
thing?
kind of like, it's tough. Like they're honestly like in their own lane. Like I think they're gonna be like the type of thing where you're like, oh, like a Rufus, a Laszewo, like they're in their own kind of like realm.
Well, like think about Rufus is that.
Yeah.
How do you
But
describe
that's
Rufus?
what I'm saying. I think Laszewo is in that in that realm where like one day you're gonna be like, oh, like is it like a Laszewo-esque or like a Fred again-esque? Like I genuinely like believe in them so much that they're gonna be.
That's a nice plug.
Yeah, but
Really nice.
but yeah, they're like, I would say a mix between like. It's their music's really unique.
Everyone's just gonna have to wait.
Yeah.
Wait, just go and listen.
We'll get them on the pod next
Yeah.
time
because they have a female vocalist, so it's like it changes everything. Like it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's hard. You can't. They're like MGMT meets like Evan Gia with like
MGMT's good too. What's your sorry? It's a little off track. What's your favorite song right now?
right now.
Danny,
I'm
what
listening
do
to
you
a
got?
lot of like folk music right now.
Noah
And-
Kahn.
No, like
Oh.
Nick Mulvey, like John Vincent the Third. My favorite song at the moment is like "Fever to the Form" by Nick Mulvey. It's really fucking good song. I'm like really turned off by dance music right now. I'm like in like a phase where I'm like only listening to sad shit and not really
Man's
making
going through a tough
music
time
right now.
right now.
Yeah. Not really making music right now. I'm like in that sort of like end of summer blues where like I have like the next 3 releases planned out and finished, and like there's
not
not
fun,
there's
yeah.
not there's not that like pressure right now to like create new music, and I have a lot of shows coming up, so I'm like prepping for that.
Okay,
So
let's
it's like
get into-
weird.
let's
It's
get
like
let's
a
get
weird.
into this because
Danny, go.
when's the new music coming? What's on the horizon? Any new shows?
So I have a song coming out this Friday called Flow. I made it like a year ago or over a year ago, and it has gone through many different versions and iterations, and I've finally landed on one that I'm like really happy with, and I think is very current to like where I'm at right now. I think it's like a very like emotional like drop where like it's not like sad, but like you feel that like emotion in like a bittersweet kind of way, but it's like energetic and happy, and like you can definitely dance to it. And after that, I have a couple other singles that are gonna drop like end of November and like one in like October. So that's like in terms of like what I'm releasing, and then I'm going on tour with Laszewo in October, from October to like November-ish.
But you also have some other shows coming up recently.
Yeah, so
Montreal.
I have Montreal at the end of the month. That's like a headline show, and then I'm
Wait,
playing,
where in Montreal?
it's at this venue called Olympia. It's like a 2,500 person cap.
Oh wow!
Oh wow, that's big.
And then I have a show in Ottawa on the 14th of September, and then I'm potentially playing in Vancouver on the 2nd of September. So
Danny's got some
Wow.
friends in Montreal. Maybe she'll come watch you.
Yeah, if I'm there.
and yeah, so I've just got like a lot, and like yeah, prepping for like the tour is gonna be a lot of work, but it's gonna be a lot of fun.
It's gonna be fun touring with your best friends
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing
and roommates.
there's nothing like better like than like you can't really dream of a better situation. Like you're literally in a Sprinter van for like 21 days with your best friends in the whole world, listening to good music, playing shows, eating good food, like just shooting the shit, making memories. Like
What are some of the highlights of the tour? Like spots.
So I think I'm joining them starting in New York. Then we have 2 nights in Toronto, then Chicago.
Oh, what are the Toronto shows?
October 26th and 27th, I think.
Where?
Or 25th and 26th. The first one's at Drake Underground. The second one's at Longboat Hall.
Okay, sweet. We'll definitely come.
Oh, cool.
The 25th is a Thursday.
Longboat Hall,
right?
that's a great hall.
26th one is sold out already. The 25th one just got like, we just launched that date
Okay,
like a couple
cool.
days ago.
I'll definitely. The 25th, I'm here. The 26th, I'm gone. The 25th, I'm here. We'll come.
Yeah.
I'm here.
And
We'll shake
then,
it up.
yeah, and then we're going to
We'll
Texas,
go
and
on.
then like we're playing like Austin, Dallas. I think.
Unreal.
Yeah, it's going to be.
How many
it's gonna-
shows are you part of the tour for?
I don't know the exact number, but like maybe like 10.
Oh, unreal.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
it's
good,
gonna
man.
be
That's
sick.
exciting. So you have a handful. You have
You have a busy
big
next
team,
couple
yeah.
months.
Yeah. And so like I'm not like I want to honestly get back into like making new music because there's so much going on in my life that like I feel like I need to like get out. But I'm in this like stuck phase, like, and it's cyclical. Like
Just make those Scooby snacks then.
I know it's like it happens every once in a while where you're like you have all this like all this shit going on. You're coming off a high and like you're in now like a regrouping phase and catch like I need to catch my breath, you know, for a little bit because it's just been go for the last couple months.
Are you heading back to LA before you go on tour? Or
Yeah.
Or I guess before your next shows.
Yeah, so I'm gonna head back to LA at the end of the month, and then I'm gonna like regroup, prep for the tour, and then I should be in LA probably like most of October, like halfway through September, and then most of October.
Well, this is a random one, and we're kind of nearing end, so this will be the last one unless Danny's got anything pressing. So now you've got the music made, and you've got the next couple months of just releasing.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy the post-release press promotion part of the industry / business? Because we've had so many artists that fucking hate it, and they're just like, I just want to make music. I don't want to promote it. I don't want to. I don't want to do all these other things. I don't want to make TikToks. I don't want to make reels. I don't want to do any of that. I just want to make music and play my shows, and that's it. What are your thoughts on like the promotion side of it? Because again, you've got to promote it. It is
some people
kind
love
of
it,
your
some people hate
secondary
it.
job.
Yeah. I honestly love making content, but I don't love the idea of like making 3 fucking TikToks a day. Like I want to try to get there and I want to try to get on that level, but like I am a big believer that like you can't really force yourself to do something because it'll show. Like if I'm like forcing my like fucking soul to like make 3 TikToks in one day and like my love isn't there and you can't like feel that, it's gonna come out in the video. Maybe it'll go viral or whatever, but like I want to like just put out good quality shit consistently, and I love doing that, and it's fun to make content. So yeah, I guess I would say I do like making content and I love like the post-release like promotion, but I don't like the like just like fucking making shit.
Well, it's like forced upon you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also think in this day and age, it's like, it's really like, I'm so fucking turned off of like, just like the classic, like in my car, like just made this new song, like my label won't let me release this. Like I get it. It's like, when that idea first started, it was fucking sick. But now like that every single artist on TikTok that's like done that, it's just like so like robotic, and we're all just like slaves to this algorithm like populating TikTok. Like I think the real fucking beauty of like posting and promoting is like just being authentic and like letting things like just grow organically over time. Because like, yeah, maybe I could go viral right now if I'm like posting 3 times a day, but like, am I going viral for the right reasons? Like, am I going viral for like who I want to be known for? Or am I just like letting the game play me, and am I just a slave to the algorithm? Whereas like if I'm posting consistently, releasing music consistently over the years, in the long run, like I'm going to find my tribe, and I'm building my tribe and my fan base like one by one as the years go by. So I think it's like the name of the game is just like be consistent and like be authentic. And like authentic is like the new viral, I guess you could say. And it'll never be old. Being authentic will never get old because everyone has their own story and their like own unique look on life. So it's like, as long as you're staying consistent, it'll always be like original. As long as you're staying authentic, it'll always be original.
That was very well said.
Thank you.
Very well said. We've had, and again, we do a lot of musicians, and the idea of going viral is on every label's and every artist's mind. How do I go viral? How do I get the next big song? How do I become the next Olivia Rodrigo or whoever? And very rarely do you say someone, hey, I might pass on the viral moment because I'm going to slowly build my team. My team's going to slowly build a following. Day by day, we'll get a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger. Yeah. And by the end of it, I'll have people who know me and actually care about me and the music I make, not just the
old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
You can tell when people are not genuine. Like I see some artists on TikTok and I can see, all your posts going, like I know you don't like this, and I know you look uncomfortable because that's not how you are in person.
100%.
You think who I'm thinking?
I think so. But anyways,
But that's like what's sad about the music industry nowadays. It's like people are just losing their individualism. Yeah. And like They're just
we can talk
tracing-
about that for a
Yeah.
full another episode. I guess we'll wrap it up there.
Yeah.
Alex, if people want to find out more about you, what you're doing, where can they go? How can they find you?
Just distant matter on everything.
Any underscores or dots?
Nope.
That's nice.
Yeah, I mean, I think my TikTok's like distant matter music, but I think if you just look up distant matter, I'm like one of the only ones because like it's not a
Unique.
very replicated name, I feel.
Good, man. I'm glad we got to do this.
Yeah, this was
I'm
fun.
glad our bromance finally took us here.
Yeah, this was
Because,
a lot of fun.
man, he's the type of guy, like, when I go to LA, I'll hit him up. I'm like, yo, I'm in town. Let's catch a Raptors game.
Yeah.
Or let's do this. And, like, I'm sure I'll see you before you go back to LA. Like, we'll have another night out at Paris, Texas.
For
or
sure.
something. Because, and the good thing is you don't know Danny yet, but Danny shakes it just like I do. Like,
Oh my
Danny's like a
God.
female version of me.
No, I can tell.
Yeah, Danny's a female version of me.
I love that.
Maybe a little too much.
Stop.
No, I'm kidding.
Thanks for listening. Keep going. Like, gross.
No, if you made it to the end, thank you. We appreciate you. Give Alex a follow. Give Danny a follow. And follow the Pals shows with your friends. And other than that, signing off, pals. Cheers.
You like to drink and to smoke to take away the pain. And I don't remember all of my mistakes and every high. Got alone with no one thing.